Head coach of the Penn State men's soccer program, Jeff Cook, joins us on the program. And Coach, first off, I got to compliment you on being able to control your hair a little bit better than I have so far through this quarantine. But just fill us in with what you and your program have been up to.
Well, great to be with you. Thanks for all you're doing to keep us at the forefront of our fans and our supporters. It's been a challenging time for everybody, but I'm really proud of how our staff and our student athletes are coming together to manage what is unprecedented times, right? I mean, this is nothing, they don't cover this in coaching school in terms of what to do when you have a global health pandemic. And, you know, the first thing I'd like to say is we have so much empathy and concern for those around our country and around the world who are suffering terrible illness and in some cases fatalities. And we really want to kind of take a moment to recognize that this is bigger than sports. But I do think we can do our part to helping people overcome and get through this difficult period, especially those in our community that are on the front lines in hospitals, medical facilities around our community and around our country. So that's first and foremost. And I would say, you know, we've tried to hammer that message home to our guys because undoubtedly we're all competitive and we're passionate about being on the soccer field and preparing to compete and represent Penn State. But we understand first and foremost that there's something larger here that we have to contribute to right now, and that's to flatten the curve, stay at home, be patient, and that is not an easy thing to tell highly competitive, athletic guys at the prime of their collegiate careers. So that's kind of my intro of what the message we're sending generally to our team and to our alumni base, to our fans, and we look forward to the day we can get back to doing what we love to do.
It's interesting you talk about the competitive edge of things and how you guys are able to use that to your advantage right now, but how are you implementing something like that on a daily basis?
What we've tried to emphasize is everything we're doing in this time, we want it to have value add in the fall. So specifically to your question, what's been most beneficial to us is breaking the team down in positional groups. So goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders, and forwards, and that's allowed us to have small group Zooms. We found it harder in the bigger setting for people to speak up and express opinions. And so on the smaller group chats, it's been the coaching staff and anywhere from as few as 3 in the goalkeeper's case, maybe 8 or 9 in the midfielders group, and talk about clips. And Coach Dalby and Coach Long have cut video from Penn State games, from professional games to teach concepts. It's funny, we've had 10-minute discussions on 15 seconds of video. So it tells you how much granular detail we're going into, but it's been really good to see our players' interpretation of clips. And sometimes what we think we're trying to teach is something entirely different. So it's been really engaging, and we've also been able to veer into a little bit like, how you doing? Like we're talking about maybe goal scoring opportunities, but then also like what's going on at home? How's your family doing? Because what's really struck me is that everyone's personal experience of this is really, really different.
There was some news earlier in the month of April that the University of Cincinnati is going to cut their men's soccer program. And I know that's a program that's near and dear to your heart, Coach, but also I'm sure on the flip side, you've had some of your student athletes, coaches, family members, whoever it is, text you and raise awareness about this topic. But what has your message been to those individuals?
That's a really sore and difficult news for me to absorb. I spent 5 years there. Both our sons were born at the University of Cincinnati Hospital. So I have great fondness for my time as a Bearcat. And you're right, a lot of great relationships that have been maintained over the years. And I am just gutted for those student athletes, especially at this time. And while I recognize the uncertainty, the financial pressures that are no doubt going to be exerted on collegiate sports around the country, I just feel to make a decision like that at this time, full of pressure, full of difficulty, I wish that there could have been a different outcome. On the positive side, it's been really warming and heartwarming to get messages. One of my alums sent me about a dozen pictures yesterday of our trip in 1999. We took the University of Cincinnati to Scotland, which was their first ever international tour. And my now 23-year-old son was a little guy, a couple of years old, and running around with the ball on the sidelines, and just like all these memories that you have that make what we do so special. Mitch, and it's so disappointing to see that happen in our sport.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time and all that you do for Penn State and the Penn State family, and hopefully we'll see you back on the field here shortly.
We're looking forward to that day, and stay safe and healthy and stay at home.